All right, good day, scholars. Today we're going to be adding a few things to our relaxation application. So far you should have your screen one here, as well as your drawing screen, and the code for this should be working already. If it doesn't, make sure you grab the file to download to where you're at the same step here. Okay. For this, what we're going to do first, we're gonna add a couple things. Where the first thing we're gonna add is we're gonna add a button that allows users to clear the canvas here, right? So when they draw on the canvas, we want them to be able to clear the canvas so they can draw again. Okay, and that's pretty simple. That'll just be a button. And we're also going to change our color buttons here. These work well for what they are, right? They click red, you can draw red. You click blue, you can draw blue. But we want to add a few more colors, and instead of having 8 buttons, we're going to try something else here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to delete our buttons here. So I'm just going to click on them right up here, right? Click, delete, gone. Now this will also get rid of the code behind them, so we don't have to worry about deleting the code. But we're just going to delete those because we're going to try something else. We're going to add a couple things to our horizontal arrangement here instead. So we're going to add another button back, which is fine. And we're also going to add what's called a spinner. And we're going to put that right here. And you'll notice that there's a blue bar that tells me where it's going to place it, right? So I can put it up here, I can put it up here. I actually want it to be next to our button. So if you see this, you can see I can put it right here. I can try and put it on the other side of the button there, and I can get it if I kind of drag it over. But one way to kind of fix that is I could just go up to my horizontal arrangement here, and I could make the width fill the parent, and that will give me some more room here. So actually, what I'm going to do is I want to put this over here, and the spinner here is going to be used for our color, and I want the button here on the right side, and it's going to be used to wipe the screen. And I think these two things shouldn't be very close to each other, because if this is our wipe screen button, right, we don't want them to try and change the color and accidentally hit wipe screen and then they lose what they were working on. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the left here and I'm just going to grab an arrangement. It doesn't matter which one you grab for this. I'm just going to grab a table arrangement and I'm going to drop it right between those two. And from there, I'm just going to change the height and width of these to about, let's do the height 1% should be fine because we don't care about the height of it, right? So we just want to use it to separate these two things. So I'm going to make the width of this, um, let's try 25%. See what that looks like. So you can see it kind of pushed them apart. I think that works pretty well. Maybe 20%, give them a little bit of space, but there we go. So now those two things are apart from each other a little bit more, which is nice. So now we got to work on these. So this spinner is going to be for our colors, and then this button is going to be for our wipe screen. So let's do the wipe screen first. So I need to name these things. So button one, I'm going to rename, and I'm going to rename that to wipe button, because that button is going to wipe our canvas. And what I got to do actually is I need to make sure that the wipe button says, wipe screen. So I'm going to go to the right here. I'm going to make the font bold, and I'm going to go down to the text here at the bottom, and I'm going to change it to wipe screen. Just hit enter, boom, and then you see it changes there. So that's nice. And that's all we need to do for that. Our color spinner here, we need to rename that as well. So let's rename the spinner 1, 2. I'm going to just call it a color spinner. Let's call it color spinner there, no spaces. There we go. That way in the code, now I know what those are for. One thing I need to do before I go to the code section is I need to put our elements in a string for our color spinner. So I click color spinner here, and what elements in a string is, all that is asking for what we want the drop down spinner, right? So when they click on here, it's going to drop down something. What do we want their options to be? And we want the options to be different colors. So I'm just going to start typing in some colors. So I'm going to put red, comma, space. And then I'm going to put my next color. Let's do blue, comma, space. Let's do green, comma, space, and let's do black. You can do more if you want. If you do want to put more, make sure you put a comma and a space between each of the elements. Okay, so we have 4 elements here. That's what the elements in a string is that we're going to use for our programming. So now that we have everything finished with our components, we're actually going to go to our block section. So go to the block section right here, boom. Now we're going to work on our code. So we have our canvas code. We don't really need this. I'm going to put this right here and I'm just going to scroll down to give some space. And we're going to do our wipe button first. So all I've got to do is go to wipe button, click, and when the wipe button is clicked, we want it to clear the canvas screen. So if I want the canvas to do something, I should go to the canvas right here and grab, boom, right there. Look at that. Call canvas one to clear, stick it into the wipe button. That button's finished. Awesome. So when they click the white button, it will clear the canvas. That's all we need to do. The more difficult one is the color spinner here. So what we need to do is color spinner, okay, click on color spinner, and then we're going to go up to after select. So after the user has selected the element, we want it to change the paint color of the canvas to a specific color, right? So what we need to do is we actually need to use what's called an if-then statement. So I'm going to go on the top left here, and I'm going to go to Control, and I'm going to grab this block here that says if-then, and I'm just going to snap it in there. So on the color spinner, if they choose, let's say, let's do the red color. So if they choose the red selection in the color spinner, we wanted to change the paint color to red. So we need to do a little bit of programming here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the math section. Okay, I know this doesn't make a lot of sense to begin with, but it'll make sense once we get done with it. And we're going to grab this equal blocks, and we're going to stick it right here in the if. Okay. And from this, we're actually going to go back to the color spinner here, and we're going to grab the, let's see, we want the selection. So the color spinner selection. So if the selection of the color spinner is equal to black, we want it to change the color black. So all we need to do is go to the text. We're going to grab a empty text box here. We're going to say it's black. And notice, right, I have, I think I said red. Let's do red first. Red. Notice I have capitalized the R. Okay, that's very important because if you go back to our design view and we click on our color spinner here, our elements, right, starts with red, it's capitalized as well. So we need to make sure those are exactly the same. So if the color selection is equal to red, then we want it to change the actual canvas paint color. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the canvas on the left side here. I'm going to find set canvas paint color. So that's background image, none of these. Paint color, here it is. Right? So set canvas one paint color. Uh-oh. There we go. To red. Right? So boom, we're going to go to colors. We're going to grab red. And we're going to put red there. So now we've got that done. So after they're done selecting an element on the color spinner, if that selection they chose is equal to red, then it will change the paint color to red. Now we just have to do that for the other colors that we chose. So I could go back on the control and grab another if then and stick it over here and blah 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 blah. But I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this block, and I believe Alt click on the Chromebooks or right click if you have a mouse, and I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to put that right underneath. So now I have two pieces of code that are exactly the same, but I need to modify this one to work for our other colors. So if we go back to our design view, you'll notice we have blue, green, and black. Let's go ahead and make this one blue. So I'm going to change this to blue. I'm going to change the color to blue. Okay. Now, same thing. Change this to green. Change the color to green. And then our last one was black, so I'm going to duplicate it one last time. And I'm going to put black. I'm going to change the color to black. Boom. Okay. And you know what? Let's do one more. So let's go back. I'm going to go back to the designer right here. Boom. Add another one. Let's do yellow. So I just added a comma, space, yellow. Now I can go back. I can duplicate, and I can change this to yellow. And you can do this as many times as you want for every single color that you want the user to be able to access. How this piece actually works is after they're done selecting using the color spinner, so let's pretend we're a user here, they click here, they're going to get their string of elements that pops up on their screen. Let's say they choose, let's say they choose yellow, right? What's going to happen with the code is after they select yellow, it's going to say, okay, is their selection red? No, go to the next one. Is their selection blue? No, go to the next one. Is their selection, oh my gosh, it says blue, green, right? Go to the next one. Is it black? Nope, still not black. Go to the next one. Is it yellow? It is. Let's change it to yellow. Okay, so that's all the code is doing. So that is our new color selection screen. So from now, right, the user should be able to change their color using this spinner, right? They're still able to draw on the screen. If that worked last time, it should still work now. And they should also be able to wipe the screen clear of any paint. And that's basically it. So one thing to remember, make sure you are checking your properties, make sure your elements in here are exactly the same as they are on the element string in here as well, or they will not work. That's basically it. If you need any help or you got any questions, please reach out to me and I'll try and help you out the best.